Hello everyone. Today we're going to be doing a presentation on an artist called Benozzo Gozzoli and his masterpiece, The Journey of the Magi to Bethlehem.
We are Group 9, and I am Abel Debebe.
I am Marlen Rivera.
And Jessica Vasquez.
This is the journey of the Magi to Bethlehem.
The Journey of the Magi to Bethlehem was painted by an Italian Renaissance painter, Benozzo de Lizzi, better known as Benozzo Gozzoli. Gozzoli's exact date of birth is unknown, but he is believed to have been born in 1421. Gozzoli was a pupil of Fra Angelico, but his artwork proved to have a very different outlook. His paintings reveal Gozzoli's interest in nature and landscape. The rich landscape of his masterpiece, The Journey of the Magi, a fresco in the chapel of Medici Riccardi Palace, was influenced by the Flemish artist. The Journey of the Magi to Bethlehem is a biblical episode that gave Gozzoli the ability to display beautiful finery and gorgeous costumes through the traveling of royal state. Gozzoli's outputs and most recognized works of art were frescoes that made contemporary art more vivid and enjoyable. Gozzoli includes self-portraits of himself not only in the Eastern Wall, but also the Western Wall. He identifies himself through the scripture on his hat. The patrons in the Medici family are also represented in the painting through the use of self-portraits.
The process of creating this masterpiece began sometime during the summer of 1459 and ended sometime at the end of the year 1463. During this time, the Renaissance era was just beginning, but some artists still adhered to the traditional international Gothic style. The colorful pageantry and attention to detail displayed by Gozzoli shows that he was still influenced by the international Gothic style. This piece is historically relevant because it was commissioned by the Medici family to commemorate the role they had played in making peace between the Catholic Church and the Byzantine Church, even though this peace did not last very long. This work of art is part of a mural and it is located at the eastern wall of the chapel. It was painted using a combination of true fresco and dry fresco. True fresco is a wall painting technique where water-based pigments are applied to wet lime plaster. Fresco secco is when the pigments are combined with a binder, such as egg or glue, and applied to dry plaster. Although fresco secco is known for not being as durable, the double wall of the chapel has ensured its thermal isolation and static stability, which has helped ensure the preservation of this masterpiece. Using a combination of both techniques allowed Gozzoli to work with greater care and provide more detail for the viewers to enjoy.
The Journey of the Magi to Bethlehem was a fresco painting that was painted directly onto a wall. The painting's upper section is 405 centimeters by 516 centimeters, while its painted dado is 135 centimeters by 516 centimeters. The work covers a whole wall, which allows the viewer to experience the whole painting at once, while also allowing them to admire the fine details, such as details in the foreground and the background, which could be glossed over if the painting was much smaller in size. The size of the painting allows the background, although meant to be less important in theory, to have many small details such as each and every man and horse seen in the background. Each and every character seen in the background can be seen with tons of detail still. The enormity of the painting also allows it to have much more occurring at once, which can result in a much more visually entertaining sight for the viewer. The artwork is located on the eastern wall within the Magi Chapel, which is within the Palazzo Medici Riccardi in Florence, Italy. The fresco has not been moved since its production in the span of 1459 to 1463, since it was produced directly onto the wall of the building. The Magi Chapel is covered wall to wall with many frescoes painted by Benozzo Gozzoli. The Journey of the Magi displays the procession of three kings on three separate walls within the chapel. The eastern wall being covered with the image of the youngest king, which is currently seen. The western wall, which is covered by the depiction of the procession of the oldest king, and the southern wall being covered with the image of the middle king's procession. The Palazzo Medici Riccardi is a compound created by the Medici family, which was one of the most influential and powerful families in Italy during the Italian Renaissance. But in 1659, the Riccardi family purchased the compound, at the time known as Palazzo Medici, and then proceeded to rename it Palazzo Medici Riccardi. During this process, the Riccardi family relocated the entrance to the Magi Chapel, which resulted in the alteration of the western wall displaying the oldest king's procession. The painting was altered to adapt to the new corners created in the new chapel. The painting itself was believed to be a fairly humanistic depiction of the processions. The paintings were created for Benozzo Gozzoli's patrons of the Medici family, specifically Pietro de' Medici. So its purpose was to please the family and to allow them to have beautiful art in their very own little chapel. The painting was not initially meant to be seen by many people, but gradually became more and more known. The painting's purpose changed as it was publicized when the Riccardi family took over the palace and let people into its chapel.
The Journey of the Magi to Bethlehem continued to be Gozzoli's most recognized piece of work until he passed away on October 4th, 1497.